What's good, y'all? This is Adam, and welcome to a special edition of the tier list, coming to you live from twitch.tv/Adam Gumby and also on youtube.com/Adam Gumby. I'm joined today by a fun guest, and we're going to go through every announcement that happened at SGF last night, but we're not just going to talk about them. We're actually going to rank them on the tier list because I am now the tier list guy, so that's what I'm doing. But before we get into that, I'd like to introduce my guest, Derek. Derek, tell everyone about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Derek Van Dyke. I am the host of a couple different shows. From the gaming realm, I host a small show called Pixel Spectrum. That's kind of my most recent project. That's definitely, as I can get episodes out, just the topics that interest me. It's purely a passion project. After doing years and years of like weekly news, like roundup podcasting and burning myself out on it. I also do a show called Castle Bravo, which is a movies podcast where me and my co-host Charlotte watch, review, go over the history of the Godzilla franchise one movie at a time. Big old Godzilla nerd, so obviously I'm eating today with that Destroy All Monsters Melee remaster.
I was about to ask, it wasn't technically an SGF thing, but yeah, that Godzilla.
It might as well be. Put that straight in the S tier, baby.
So I only know about that Godzilla game. We're going to get to SGF in a second. I know about the Godzilla game because I had a buddy who was super into Godzilla, and I think that was that the GameCube fighter?
It was GameCube one. And
so he talks about
like
it all
the
the
launch
time.
Window. So if you were an early GameCube owner, it honestly got a lot of attention for being one of a handful of early GameCube games. So
okay, so is it just like a beloved one, or is it just a weird one that the freaks like?
It's good. Like I think it's genuinely a very enjoyable, very well made, very polished, like 3D arena fighter. You know, the type of which of like licensed arena fighters would become a lot more popular right through like more of the HD era of gaming. You know, and generally more like anime focused. But yeah, like it's just a very good, even if early, one of those. And there's also not a lot of good Godzilla games. So like if you're a Godzilla fan, you don't have a lot of options, and this was one of them.
Yeah, just got to take what you can get. All right, but we are going to go to Summer Game Fest. Shout out to Game Informer for giving us all the announcements in the order they happened, because not every website does that, so I appreciate it very much. What I'm going to do, we're going to go through each announcement. We'll talk about it for a bit if we need to. Some of these things I have about half a second, sentence to say, and we can move on. But then we can place it where we think. We have to agree, but we're going to put it where we think it needs to go into the tier list. Starting off number one, kicking off the show, Resident Evil Veronica, the newest game from Capcom, the remake. What are you thinking on this one? I'll be honest with you.
Yes, right?
Well, I'm not a huge Resident Evil person in general. I've played a couple of them. It's fine. Is this one good? Yeah. Obviously, they've been doing good with the remakes. People are happy with the remakes. Is this game good, though?
So Code Veronica is... I'm weird. Like, I love Resident Evil, but I'm weirdly not the biggest fan of Code Veronica. But that's one of the like most beloved entries in the franchise. So this is a long-awaited, you know, very good-looking, from what we've seen, remake of a lot of people's favorite Resident Evil game. It is coming on just like a historic run from Capcom with this series of just hit after hit after hit. I will say, if we're talking about like the impact of the announcement, it might be closer to like an A than an S, only because I think at this point it's inevitable, and there's like a new Resident Evil every year or two. So they're good. I love them, but you can bet you're going to see a new Resident Evil once a new one comes out. So
okay, because just for a point of reference, I send this to you over Discord, and not everyone can see it. We're doing the tier list kind of tiering system, but it doesn't necessarily apply. But we're basically just going based on the announcement and how we feel about how the announcement is, maybe how we feel about the game. But there's S is masterclass, A is excellent, B is great, C is good, and D is sicko. So it doesn't necessarily mean bad, but, sicko stuff. So masterclass, excellent, great, good, and sicko. So you think...
I think A. I think it's going to be, look, Resident Evil's on a great run. It's extremely broadly popular. Most people like them. Most people have some criticisms of every game, but we keep coming back and buying 10 million copies worth of each title. So
that's true.
It's an easy guess that Veronica's going to be in the A tier.
Yeah. Because as an announcement, like that's very good, but it also sort of feels like the 3 remake compared to a 4 remake or a 2, where everyone's like, oh my god, 2 and 4, and 3 is like, yeah, three's
See,
good, but whatever.
but Code Veronica's
But
the one.
that's a
for
loved
lot
one,
of people.
huh? Okay.
So yeah,
We'll see then.
for the weirdos who owned a Dreamcast.
For all 30 of them. All right.
Yep.
Next up on the list, after Code Veronica, we got sort of a double announcement here. It was Cuphead announced that they were making an official sequel in that original hand-drawn style, but they were also making more of a 90s style platformer called Cuphead Adventures, or Mighty Cuphead Adventure, excuse me. So I'm kind of putting both of those together. We didn't see any gameplay from the Cuphead sequel, so mostly this is Mighty Cuphead, but Mighty Cuphead, again, kind of a throwback to that NES era platform, maybe SNES era.
Yeah.
What do you
It
think
looks
about
kind of like
this one?
SNES Genesis-ish, kind of, you know. Were you a big fan of Cuphead?
I like Cuphead. I did not finish Cuphead.
I liked it, but did not necessarily see where some people were like crazy diehard about it. I thought it was good. I thought maybe even parts of it were great if you care about the effort that was put into hand drawing all of that animation. But I think as a game to play, it was like maybe a little bolstered by the visual style. So I look at Mighty Cuphead and like it's cool. It's a cool throwback to a genre of game that I emulated a lot of for 30 minutes at a time. You know, like so.
I think if it was a Cuphead 2, that would have been like an S or an A. I still think Mighty Cuphead could be good, but as far as my personal excitement, I can't go above a B, so I'm looking at either B or C for that one. Just because I'm like,
I'm kind of in like the B or C range, right?
Yeah.
Like we didn't see much, so I don't really have a lot to base it off of. But this team does know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to give it the faith to put it in a B for now.
All right, we'll give them a B. Really quick from chat, we have shout out to Pancake Defiler just talking about how good that Godzilla game is. Mainly, Brian also said Code Veronica opinions usually feel to me like Resident Evil Majora's Mask. Here's the funny thing: growing up, I thought Majora's Mask was a bad game, and then I become an adult, and everyone's like, "Oh no, we like that." I'm like, I don't remember us liking it back in the day, but I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Majora's Mask is so good, but I did prefer other Zeldas until I got older, I think.
Yeah.
So
That feels like, we all love Wind Waker now. You definitely did not like it back in the day. I remember that being a very specific thing, but very good. All right, so we decided on B for this one, right?
yeah.
Mighty Cuphead might be for those who can't ace the tutorial. Yeah, maybe it's an easier Cuphead. Maybe we'll see. Next up on our list, Boo Doggy. Alien Isolation 2 was shown off. No release date, but it is coming to every console, including Switch 2. Alien Isolation, really cool game. If you like the sort of survival horror stuff, we're getting shown off gameplay and stuff for the sequel. Were you an Alien Isolation person at all?
I recognize that the opinions can be somewhat divisive, and the game is not perfect, right? I think Alien Isolation is one of the best horror games ever made. It's certainly one of the actually scariest horror games ever made. To me, I think it is an incredible like letter of love to one of the most important franchises in horror movie history. It's a little long in the tooth in the back half. That's the big problem. You could have cut like 20% out of Alien Isolation and it would be a better game just because it didn't need to drag on as much. If this game is either a little bit more tightly paced or they switch it up a little bit better, I mean, we're talking about potentially one of the greatest horror games ever made. You know, it's A with a potential for S is where I sit, because I just think Alien Isolation is, I mean, mwah.
Yeah, it's very good. Especially this announcement and showing off. We're not stuck on a ship anymore. We're on a colony on a planet. Again, that game is good. I think the only thing that would keep it out of S for me, and I think I'm with you, I'm going to go for A, just because we already knew about it. They showed it like 3 weeks ago. They showed like a 10-minute thing of like a door or whatever. And then they showed the full thing.
Announced. It's been a hot minute since the announcement, but we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So
I think if they would have saved this full showing it off for this, it would have been like, oh my god. I was like, it's still oh my god, but I was like, well, I knew
Oh
about
yeah.
this oh my god kind of an
If
idea.
this wasn't announced before this moment, I would have yelled out
Oh
loud.
yeah, that would have been a wild one if we had absolutely no idea. But no, still very good. Next up is Gen Atlas, which is the game from the director who made like Eco and Shadow of the Colossus and all of those narrative heavy sort of games. No release date. This one is on PS5, Xbox, and then Epic, because apparently Epic is publishing this game. Apparently this game got announced a long time ago. I just don't remember anything about it. But Gen Atlas
Yeah, it
is
was just Project Robot or
yeah.
something at the time. So,
But that was shown off here. Give a shout out to the director of the game. I'm going to start with this one, right? Here's the thing. Eco and Shadow Colossus and all that stuff. I think they're fine. I'm not obsessed with them like some people are. It was very funny in this trailer where they went to two frames a second. I'm like, oh yeah, that's that. That's that. Yes, those games for sure. Absolutely. So I think it's definitely one of those. I'm sure the people, and I'm not saying this is a D, but the sickos who like these games will probably be happy with it. Just like those other ones, it doesn't do anything for me. Like I didn't fall in love with those games. I don't think they're bad either, so I don't want to again put it in D. But I don't know.
Here's the problem with where I sit. Okay, I really do not care for Eco or The Last Guardian. So if you tell me like, hey, we got a new game from Fumito Ueda, I'm like, all right. Two of those games I truly don't care for. And then Shadow of the Colossus is one of my favorite games of all time. I think when that game hits for you, it hits. But and I recognize there's a lot of people who had that same feeling about Eco and about The Last Guardian, apparently in much smaller numbers. I don't think it's nearly the same way as like Shadow of the Colossus is quite widely beloved. And this gives more Shadow of the Colossus vibes, not just because giant robot, thing instead of giant statue thing, but like it feels like they're trying to replicate that feeling of like big, open sense of scale. God, this is just a question mark for me because this could come out and be one of the sickest things I've ever played, or it could come out and be some janky Microsoft PowerPoint bullshit.
Or both. It could be both.
It probably will be both.
I would say if I'm just basing it on the trailer, I'm going to say C. I'm sure that the people who like it will like it. I think it will probably be a good game, but I did not see that and be like, oh my god, I have to play that. Just based on the trailer. I do think
the idea of it being like a cult classic is probably a good way to describe my guess. It's hard because how do you average this game could be a master class or this game could be for 10 whole people? And the average of that is average, which this game won't be. There's no world where it's not one of these two extremes for you when it drops. So,
but based on the trailer, though, yeah. I'm just going off what they showed. Yeah,
unique cult classic. I'm expecting I'll love it, but we'll see.
I'm sure people will. Next up was Blood Message. That was the NetEase Chinese action game with the father and son sort of dynamic going on there. Man, I don't want to give Jeff too much trouble, but certain people point this out, that there's always an anime game section of, like Game Awards and Summer Game Fest where they just, normally it's like the gacha games where it's like Withering Waves for the 18th time or whatever.
Say, there's always the anime stuff, and then there's always the like Chinese or Korean developed like free to play,
stuff, yeah.
Souls-ish inspired pseudo dark fantasy action game, and there's been 8 million of these, and I have cared about none of them in the end, which is
that's how I feel about this one. Yeah, again, it looks pretty. I'm sure that a lot, 3 million people will play it, and I will never touch it or ever think about it.
Yeah. It's gonna sell like 8 million copies, and I'm also not gonna know a single person who played it.
That's very true.
I don't know. I mean,
blood sausage.
It's probably gonna be like a B, right? Like it feels like it's gonna land, it's gonna hit, people who are really into these games are gonna
Mm-hmm.
love it, just like they loved like. I'm struggling to name them, but the other
Yeah,
8
there's a
of
lot
these
of
that
them.
I've seen in the last couple
There's
of
like Wu
years, you
Chang,
know.
Fallen Feathers, and then there was
Was it that or was it
there's Wu Chang and Wu Chang or Wolong.
Wolong?
There's
Which one of them
so
is
many.
Fallen Dynasties? Which one is Fallen
I think it's
Feathers?
Wolong, and then there's Fallen. I think we can put this in D. We can put this in D because it's me and you talking about the announcement, and neither one of us cared about this game. We
Yeah.
can throw it in D.
Throw it in D. Fuck it.
I do not care about these video games, and I will continue to not care about these
Everything
Souls-ish
about it.
action
Here's
games.
what's crazy. Everything about it. It should be my shit, and I have somehow never cared enough to check any one of them. Probably because so many of them have been, either free to play, or they've just been announced and spent so many years in limbo that by the time they come out, they're generic to me. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I kind of go into chat over here. Pancake Fire. I wish I was into games like that. The aesthetics usually hit despite overproduction, and I love stylish action stuff. That's the thing is that they're all like, they all look very similar. They're all like sort of dark earth tones, like a lot of grays and browns, but not like in the 360 era, but like realistic grays and browns. And all the action looks very.
I think
Some of those
maybe
games are okay.
Maybe unfairly. Part of where my brain always goes is I remember how much everybody hyped up Black Myth Wukong for a really long time. And like that game came out and everyone's like, dude, this looks so good. It's so cool. It's so stylish. It's going to be this great action game. And it's like some kind of mid PS2 shit, visuals aside. Again, we talk about a game that sold like 8 million copies and I know nobody who played it. And the problem is like, I think I'm expecting all of these to be more substance or more style than substance. And we live in a post Bayonetta era. You got to give me more. You know,
Yeah.
like we joke about Souls likes, but the Dark Souls games are impeccably well designed, and almost nothing that apes them comes close. So why would I settle?
Yeah. I will also say though, Fallen Feathers one's not bad. Not bad. I enjoyed that one enough.
I'll put that on the when I got some slow time.
Yeah, when you in 50 years when you have some time.
Right.
Next
if they
up,
stop making video games tomorrow, I'll get around to it in a couple of years. You know?
absolutely. Next up is I'm gonna say Hex, Haex. This was the is the co-op survival shooter set in the wilderness, overtaken by aliens. 1 to 4 player co-op survival FPS, scavenge for resources and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a multiplayer survival game, and like you like run around and like the gravity's weird and you're going inside the, it's all that kind of stuff. It looked cool. Looked
The
interesting.
aesthetics are really cool, right? Like it's Nordic wilderness, but it gives me a lot of that very like Pacific Northwest like horror kind of vibe, right? Of like your misty forests and your, I think it looks interesting. My concern is, hey, we've got another co-op, online PvE sort of extraction sort of. There's so many of these. And whether it's good or not won't matter because it's kind of doomed to go down in history as a C.
Yeah, I wish
is how I feel.
Yeah, I wish this was another Atomic Heart game because they made 2 last year. So I'm like, oh, is this another one? By the way, I'll do it just for chat. Hex. He said, say it like Goofy. Hex. Hey, Max. I'm with you. I'm sure it'll be fine, but there's so many of these, and it looked interesting, but not overly interesting. So I'm willing to do C because it didn't look like a big old bore fest.
It'll
but
probably
like
be better than that, but none of us are gonna play it.
No,
and no one's gonna remember it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. Next up, this one might be controversial, maybe not. Stranger Than Heaven, which is the next game from the Yakuza people. I believe
they have me in the first half. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. So this is the next from RGG Studios. They were showing off a lot of the action and going through the time period, and then at the end they were like, Snoop Dogg's here, and also Tupac. Tupac is here because the Tupac estate gave permission. By the way, there's a story with that. The Tupac estate does not mean Tupac's family. It is what his record label. A company
the Tupac
owns.
estate is like a rich white executive who owns the
Yes.
rights to some shit. It's
Not
not
his
the
family. His family is going to
Oh,
court trying to get money from this man who
yeah.
has Tupac's likeness. Here's the thing. I just recently, the last episode of the tier list was talking about Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Hmm.
And Mr. Hawks came on, and he's a fan of it. I know people love those games. That game got the first D from me in this entire series because these games bore the shit out of me. I can't do it.
Interesting.
They look
Interesting.
pretty. I appreciate it. There's just it's too much slowly explaining a story over
Yeah.
70 hours, and I cannot do that. And this game, I'm sure,
I
is going to be that, but also Tupac, so I'm not interested.
here's the thing. I tend to like the Like a Dragon series quite a bit, but the last couple years have been rough for RGG Studio. We've had a lot of much lower effort. I'm not going to call it slop necessarily getting pushed out, but they've overexposed. The quality's gone down. The remake of 3 had a lot of really horrific choices in it that really pissed off fans of the series. And Stranger Than Heaven should be the opportunity to be like, hey, we're doing something a little fresh with this format, bring back the people who loved it. But my faith in RGG Studio, since the main man left, is not high. And then they pulled that Tupac shit, and that's weird. That's weird to me. I'm not a big fan of puppeting around the corpse of a dead celebrity, especially because Tupac was not like a Tupac was not exactly at the. This is actually Timur Hussein did a great video about this. It's putting the respect disrespect thing aside. Tupac was never a part of the like fusion of American hip hop and like pan Asian. You know, he wasn't part of the like Wu-Tang energy. Like that was never Tupac's thing. So it doesn't even make sense for him to be there other than, you know, because they thought it would be an applause line, and it's like, ugh,
Yeah, no.
no.
The Snoop Dogg thing makes sense because Snoop Dogg's just out there to make money. He don't care.
Oh yeah,
He's
Snoop
doing
will
his
be in
thing.
anything. He don't give a shit.
So I want to
He's getting his
say,
bag.
yeah, he'll do whatever he needs. I will say, as like a person who does not like RGG, and the Tupac thing threw me for a loop, and I had no interest in this game anyways. I would say it's a D, just because the announcement did nothing for
think you
me,
could
and then it
bring-
also made me upset. So what do you think? Because
bring
you
E
actually
back.
like it.
I think you could bring E back and put it at E, because this is morally reprehensible.
Okay, I'll put it at the very back end of D, just so we know where it belongs. Yeah, that's
You
crazy.
going in the dirt, dog. It's not happening.
So I do have a question for you though, because we have some people in your chat talking about they've tried to play Yakuza games before. What is the one you suggest? Because everyone who's a fan is like, this is the one you should actually try. Is it Zero or is it Kiwami?
You got two options, okay,
Okay.
as far as I'm considered. If you want to start like Kiryu's story, it's Yakuza 0. Like by a mile, it is I think the best of the classic Yakuzas, which does unfortunately mean everyone that comes after feels a little worse, but like you're invested in the story and characters, so like it's a narrative series, you know. But there is also Yakuza Like a Dragon, right? The seventh entry, the one that introduced Ichiban as the new main character. There's been 2 of those because there's that, and then there's Infinite Wealth. Those turned everything into like a turn-based JRPG combat system and started over with a new character, which makes that a good entry point, especially for people who want a more traditional RPG. I think a lot more people fell in love with that style than were around for the old ones. So,
Okay, maybe Like a Dragon then. All right, cool.
but also don't invest in this franchise because it's getting burned to the ground.
Well, maybe so. There's 12 games if you want to go on the backlog. Next up, TMNT: The Last Ronin, a game that was announced I think like 2 years ago, and then now we're finally seeing another announcement about it coming
Yeah, I
out.
was gonna say, like when it was announced, it was not attached to Platinum, right? I think
I
that's
don't remember.
new.
No, I think it was a THQ Nordic joint at that point, maybe, or an Embracer thing.
I'm gonna fact check us while we do this.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
now being done by Platinum, so the people who've done Bayonetta and other games as well. But yeah, Paramount and Bayonetta, or Paramount and Platinum Games are the ones who are making this.
It was originally
version.
being developed. Yeah, it was an Embracer joint.
It was an Embracer game.
Black Forest Games.
Yeah.
So this is like a full blown, probably ground up, fresh take on it. But is Platinum baby, which means it's either an S or okay. You know what? Platinum's not really had a miss in a long time. They had a little stretch. They had a
Yeah.
little
There's
stretch
a
where they were
long
putting out.
stretch.
There was a stretch where they were putting out some license slop just to pay the bills,
Yeah.
right? They were like, "Hey, man, we got some bad Legend of Korra, some bad Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, uh, a not good Transformers game. I don't care what anyone says; it wasn't good. Like, but they've gotten it together,
Hmm.
and I think they've been doing well. Although a lot of folks have left Platinum in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So they've kind of been playing support studio for a lot of people. Um, I don't know if they've still got the juice.
I will say, just as far as an announcement goes, it's a re-announcement. We have shown nothing, and they've completely changed all the teams attached to it. I don't think you go above C. I'm still hopeful because the story of the Last Ronin is cool. That whole concept of what that Ninja Turtle story is neat. They didn't show me anything at all, so it was just a re-announcement of a thing that we had heard about, but they showed us nothing with the re-announcement. So as far as an announcement goes, I'm like, cool. That'll be neat.
Yeah. My fear and vibe is with the number of key talent who have left Platinum, right? The people who brought the sauce, that and the fact that Platinum has not really released like a Platinum solely developed game in a hot minute that's actually been like they've been playing support studio a lot. I worry that this is gonna be mid as hell. So yeah, maybe it's a C. I think it might be a C.
We'll go C just because I don't want to disrespect the Turtles because I love those boys so much. But yeah, I don't know the teams and the who's involved. I don't
They're
know.
good boys, Adam. They're good boys.
There are some great guys over there. Next up, an extremely hard game, which was the co-op. Your two ducks trying to make sure to keep your egg safe in your like obstacle course, sort of physics based, funny, have a good time game. Um, how do you feel about this one? I do like whenever you get indie devs onto the stage to show their stuff off. Um, this one could be fun.
I'm
But
glad it's there. Like you said, every time there's like an indie dev up there, it makes me happy because, as much as I admit I tend to be more swayed by the big announcements, like I do want indies to have their say in the sun. That said, this seems like the kind of game that I would only be exposed to through like clips of Northern Lion playing it. You know what I mean? Like, this seems like it'll have 2 episodes on Game Grumps and then we'll never hear about it again. Like it feels like it's gonna be good streamer bait, but I have no reason. I think most of us end up having no reason to interface with these games much. I think it'll be really good for the like specific people who play these short term. So like probably a C. It's gonna be good, I'm sure.
C. Yeah, it'll talk about it in chat. Front slop, but like parentheses positive. Because those can be fun. You can have a game you can stream for a weekend and never touch it again. That's fine.
I like some friend slop. I've had some great times in Repo. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love
like,
Repo. Don't get me started. Yeah.
Yeah.
Streamer bait, yeah, which is fine, which is great. Yeah, that's a one weekend, but I can get respect and again shout out for them getting onto the main stage. Next up, That's No Moon, the studio that's been around, I think, for 6 years. I don't know. That's No Moon got announced a while ago, but they announced Crossfire, which was the narrative-focused, we are two soldiers on opposite sides who need to team up to survive together game. Looks very high quality, obviously.
Cover kind of.
Yeah, like adaptive cover.
I almost wondered
thing.
if this would be Tom Clancy-ish, like if it was going to be like a Ghost Recon or something.
It's like an interesting route because it's like it looks like a very realistic like military sim, like, but then people have got like the extremis virus from Iron Man 3 and there's like weird goop going to dead bodies and stuff. So it's like, oh, we're having fun here. But again, it's from a bunch of people who made a lot of really high quality video games in the past. It's one of those studios, and the trailer looked very good. I think it's one of these where like, I don't know what this game's going to end up being, but it was like a good trailer and like a good showing of a thing that we did not know before. So I want to do, personally, it's probably B or A, just because of like the quality of it.
A. I'm leaning at a B right now, but it could surprise me post-release into an A. Normally I'm not big on military shooter stuff, right? But like they're doing something with this. They're doing something a little different. They're trying to not just we made our own Call of Duty or Tom Clancy. Um, so I'm going to be paying attention to it a lot more than I would otherwise, which probably puts it at like a B.
Yeah. I want to point out to chat talking about thoughts on the adaptive cover gimmick or game changer. If it works like the way they're talking about, that's pretty dope. Where I don't have to worry about a cone of vision and I'm just standing behind this box because this box is in the cone of vision. It is, my character is going to move to avoid this person's sight line, which would change the way that you would approach stealth because I am always trying to hide regardless of where, like you can see sometimes like this is the design of where I'm supposed to go compared to this, making it maybe feel different. It could be very good. I haven't played it, obviously.
Many a game have thought that they could do some like dynamic, systems driven like cover systems, that with the idea being like, hey, it definitely won't be the one specific pre-scripted path we meant for you to take in a stealth game. We got to see how they execute on it.
But if they do,
if they pull it off, it'd be great.
So you were thinking B, I was thinking A. How about we do?
We could put it in A.
I'll do end of A. Just because I'm with you, like we don't know, but it is an exciting.
I have hopes that it'll be an A, which should tell you something, right? I'm sitting here thinking, like, could this be the like? I think of like Spec Ops: The Line, which looks like a generic military shooter, and then you play it and it's incredible. I'm thinking this could upend the table a little bit.
I'm with you. All right, next up we have showing off something we already knew about, but I'm very excited for. Control Resonant. Had a new trailer shown off here at SGF. We got I think we might have already known the date, but the date is September 24th because September just has 100 video games in it. Control Resonant. I'm a big fan of the Remedy verse, Control specifically for being, you just get to be a superhero in a video game. This one looks cool, all being melee based. Good showing off. It's the thing where like, yes, we've seen it already, but like you're showing me something already like, oh no, you're showing me a birthday cake again. How will I survive? It's like, well, I enjoy birthday cakes. That's cool. So good showing off, B or A for me, just because it's like, well, I already know, but I already know it's a thing I like as well.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's an A. Like I'm willing to bet the game will be an S, right? But maybe it won't be. I don't know. Like I think A is a safer bet. But also, in terms of the announcement, like I said, it's a new trailer for a game we've seen a couple trailers for. And we all knew we were excited about. So, good to see. I watched every second of that trailer. But, yeah, I think A. A makes sense.
I'll put it at the back of A right here next to Crossfire. You two can hang out because you're both things that we might like. We'll see what happens there. Next up, after Control Resonant, was not a game I've ever played, but a thing that I'm sure a lot of sickos are a fan of, non-derogatory. Guild Wars 3 got announced. For all you MMO freaks out there, there's a new version of this. Funny story about this one. I was working at GameStop when Guild Wars 2 came out, and it was a big deal to the people who were into MMORPGs. Never touched it, but I was like, yeah, you guys like this stuff, huh? So Guild Wars 3, I think that's a good announcement. That is a good, like, if you are in that ecosystem, you either play WoW or you play Guild Wars, from my understanding. So a new one seems cool.
I was watching that trailer, and at first I was like, what are you guys cooking for me here? What are you cooking for me here? And then they were like, from the people who reinvented MMOs, and I was like, oh, it's an MMO. I don't care. Like I've tried so many times. I've tried so many MMOs. I've tried the award-winning Final Fantasy XIV with free trial up to level 80 and including whatever fucking expansion. Like I've tried it. Like I played the original Guild Wars a little bit, right? Like I cannot bring myself to care about MMOs. I can't do it. I believe this is going to be a big fucking deal for people who are really into MMOs, like free-to-play MMOs specifically. But yeah, exactly. As Rex puts in the chat, like it's only a big deal if you're into MMOs, but if you're into MMOs, it's a very big deal.
Oh, we got one of these games coming up that is a big deal for Adam and probably only 12 other people, but it is a big deal for us 12 people.
One, me too, baby.
It's not the next one, but it's a little bit down. But yeah,
okay, that'll be only.
I want to give this one probably a B because again, I don't care, you don't care, but I think
recommended for fans of the genre. Yeah, I think that's like a fair way to describe that.
you guys enjoy your new MMO, and I will sit over here and not play that. That is no big
I
deal.
will be over here being antisocial.
So the next one up on the list, I actually have an interesting thing to talk to you about, but Gundam Rogue Orbit. We had a new Gundam game. I'm assuming it's a roguelike based on the title, but I don't know that much about Gundam. Here's the thing. Never been a Gundam guy. Don't care about robots.
Am one of the biggest Gundam nerds that may have ever walked the planet. I actually wrote a college paper on Minovsky physics in the original, the first couple of Gundam series as a way to have fictional physics like define and justify your world building and storytelling. I was an English lit major, but this is weird because this doesn't look like anything Gundam that's ever happened. Like aesthetically, it's very off from Gundam. It's got weird, like sci-fi video game ass robots, maybe aliens, in a way that's never been a thing with Gundam. So I guess where I'm sitting at is like this barely looks like Gundam, but maybe go off Queen. Like maybe just do some weird shit and like have fun with it. I don't know. The weird thing is Gundam video games have a weirdly consistent track record of being pretty damn good for whatever type of game they are trying to be. They don't mean anything to anyone who doesn't love Gundam already. Like it doesn't matter how good a Gundam strategy game is if you don't like Gundam. This is probably going to be a C.
A C, interesting.
All these flowers I just gave it, and I'm sitting here looking at this like this is going to be a character action game. It looks like it's going to get swept away in a sea of character action games, and it's probably going to be good, a 7, but not anything to pick up if you're not a Gundam fan.
Yeah, like, which is fine.
And even then, it doesn't really look like a thing that's specifically targeted at Gundam. I don't know what they're doing with this.
Yeah,
I just don't.
The only blurb is customize and pilot a mech in this third-person, fast-paced action game. So it doesn't.
They didn't give us a lot to work with, other than like, that sure is a thing.
Yeah, that's a Gundam, all right. So you're saying, see, I will completely go with what you say because I don't know anything about those robots. That's interesting. I've never got into the giant robot thing. Power Rangers was about it because I like the weird little monsters or whatever. But
I'm mostly into Gundam for the politics, which is how
that's people say.
I'm a real Gundam fan because it's mostly about radical politics.
Yeah, everyone's like, it doesn't matter about piloting the robot. It's the other stuff that's good. It's like,
Gundam will turn you into a space communist. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
all right, next up, a game I am excited for. Star Wars Galactic Racer is the game that we're looking at now. Got showed off Sebulba. Everyone's happy to see Sebulba at all times. Everyone loves that man.
The old Sebulba.
But yeah, they showed off. It looks very story mode focused. We got a lot of cutscenes, as well as the classic "This is Pod Racing" line from Lucy James. So, what did you think of this showing?
This looks really good. I'm not a Star Wars guy. Like I am the most casual person about Star Wars on the planet. But man, I did fucking love Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. You know what I mean? And this looks like, it looks polished, it looks clean. It's got a good vibe and energy to it. It looks like the kind of thing I want to play. Like this, I want this in my hands right now. If there's a demo, I would be trying that demo. If it can do that to somebody who's not attached to the Star Wars license, like I feel like that's a good sign of what you're showing off.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm excited for it. Again, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is fun. I like a racing game that is not sim. So I like the Forza Horizon. I like a kart racer.
To the Burnout Paradises of the world, guys.
Yeah. I like the silly fun ones, and I do like Star Wars. So this one was good for me. The trailer looked interesting, seeing all the story mode stuff. What were you thinking? I'm thinking
I would happily put this in A or B. You know, I mean, that's the territory it's looking like for me. And I'm, again, not even a Star Wars guy. So
I will, let's see, between Cuphead, Guild Wars, do I think it's on the level of these ones? I would say top of B if you care, but if you have
Sure.
an argument for
Top
A,
of
I'll
B
throw it
works
in A.
great for me.
Yeah, we'll put that in the first in B. Just because I'm like, yes, that will be cool. It is a racing game that I'm excited for, but I'm not like, am I excited? Is that as exciting as a Resident Evil game for some people? Like, probably not. So I'll just bump that down a little bit. All right, next up, after Galactic Racer, we have Sega. They're like, hey, we're coming back with everyone's favorite franchise. Do you think it's a guy driving a taxi? No, it's not. It is, in fact, Virtua Fighter. What's the last part of this? Crossroads.
Crossroads, yeah.
Virtua Fighter Crossroads is coming back. I don't play Virtua Fighter. Again, this is from RGG Studios, it seems like, and
Yes.
are they kind of turning it into like a story
It definitely
3D fighting?
looks
Like, what is going on here?
I'm assuming that, I mean, the game is a fighting game, right? It's going to be Virtua Fighter. It's going to be Virtua Fighter 6. But they are trying to build, it seems like, a more robust like campaign onto it than we are used to seeing in like fighting games in general, right? Which RGG Studio is in a good position to do because their experience with that franchise, if you bolted like a good fighting game onto the Yakuza framework, you've got like you're cooking with something. That being said, it is RGG Studio. Like,
Is that good or negative?
it's sadly a negative for me at this point. Like, my trust in this studio is not high, which is a shame because like I am looking at this and the animations look incredible. Like, this looks like some next gen fighting game shit. If you are into like martial arts fighting games that are a little bit more mundane and not dudes throwing fireballs. This is such a wild card for me, man.
So look at B is great, C is good. Okay, I will just ask a simple question. Did the trailer get you interested in seeing what Virtua Fighter Crossroads could be?
Yes.
I think that makes it a B then.
I think a B is a good spot to put it. There's going to be some Virtua Fighter fans. Their opinion's going to be like make or break on how this game actually does. So I really hope that they get fed. Mm-hmm. But I mean, for me, I've never played a Virtua Fighter. I just know of its reputation, and this does make me interested to actually try one. As an old head who can't play fighting games as well as he used to, so.
Oh yeah, I'm awful at them now. It's not even close.
Fingers don't move the way they used to, man. I used to pull off them combos in Marvel like you wouldn't believe, but nowadays, ugh.
No, I can't do any of it. Next up on our list, we had RuneScape Dragon Wilds. Let me tell you, probably. So here, I watched Summer Game Fest on a delay. Skip through this one quick. I know people love. No, I know that there is a group of people who really like RuneScape. They have nostalgia for RuneScape. I think this was shown off at the State of Play because I think it's coming to PS Plus or something, or maybe that's a different RuneScape. I don't know. Cool. I don't have any nostalgia. It looks like an old video game that they're bringing to nowadays for people who liked the old video game. Cool. I don't care. Skip.
RuneScape was fucking junky bullshit back when I was in middle school. You know what I mean? Like, and that was a long time ago. You can't make me care about it now. I don't know, man. This was the easiest skip in the world for me.
Yeah, big same.
People who still have their RuneScape account from like 2005.
There are people who do that.
Are fucking into this shit, but I don't care.
They're not on this podcast. I don't care. Revx Shadows in the chat says, honestly, I'm assuming talking about Virtua Fighter. I'd say Fighter, yeah. D. The moment I got disappointed was Crazy Taxi. Yeah, that is the thing. Where was Crazy Taxi?
I don't want to hold that against Virtua Fighter, but also I gotta see that Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, where is Crazy Taxi?
Gotta see that Crazy Taxi. Where we at?
Absolutely. Apparently, there's a bonker sale for Resident Evil. Oh yeah, there was a big Capcom. They showed that in the middle of the show that there's a big Capcom sale going on for anyone interested in that. But yeah, RuneScape. Going to the end. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed at Home. What is this called? 1666 Amsterdam, which is the only reason I say Assassin's Creed at Home is because it looks like Assassin's Creed, and I believe it is from someone who used to be there. So quick information, Assassin's Creed creator reveals witchcraft action game 1666 Amsterdam in development. is going to be. There's a prologue available right now if you want to play a little demo of it in early access later this year. Here's the thing: I like Assassin's Creed. I like the idea of witches. This game looked. I don't understand what I'm looking at. I'll say that.
I think the setting and the aesthetic are really interesting, right? You are going for, again, like in a lot of ways, like it almost felt closer to being inspired by like, and it's just coming from an American point of view, but like talking like Salem witch trials and stuff like that. Um, Obviously Amsterdam, we are not talking about the United States. We're talking about a very different cultural, maybe it's a reference to a cultural point in history. It's not like much of us know a lot about the history of the Netherlands. But I mean, it looks interesting. Um, I've fallen off the big open worldy. So like if we're making the comparison to Assassin's Creed, it's probably not for me, but this will probably hit for a good number of people. Um, I think this could be like an upper C or a lower B is kind of where I would project it onto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was watching this, it's like, man, I really want that rumored or not rumored that announced Assassin's Creed Hex or Hexy or whatever that game is.
Assuming
like,
it doesn't fall apart.
Yeah,
Witchcraft
Assassin's
Proctor
Creed,
and she was whipping ass. Like,
yeah. I'm with you. I'll probably do C, maybe backside of C, just because it's like, yeah, that could be good. Again, I know that the prologue is out and some people have played it. I don't know the word on what they feel about that, but could be good, could be interesting. But I don't know, man. Maybe I need to brush up on my Goth Deco Amsterdam history, and maybe I'll like it more. Next up, the number one guest that showed up to Jeff Keighley's show came out on stage on his little tricycle and had a good time. Whatever, Billy the puppet or whatever his name is, to announce Shaw Genesis. When I first saw this trailer, it's like, okay, yeah, it's Saw, it's gruesome, we're doing the thing. And then I read what it's about. I'm like, ooh, that is much more interesting to me than just watching the trailer. Saw Genesis is an asymmetrical multiplayer horror game published by Bloober Team. And then I believe I saw somewhere that it's a 1 versus 3. So a 1 versus 3 multiplayer horror game set in the Saw universe. So I'm thinking all of those like your Friday the 13th, your Dead by Daylight, that sort of stuff. But in Saw, I'm like, that does sound like a good idea for a video game.
Yeah. Once again, this is like, for me, it's death by like revelation of what the game actually is compared to what I was thinking it could be at first. Because a Saw game, I'm like, and then you start showing bits of it, and I'm like, this is kind of, and also the idea of like we're doing some like Saw but old timey times. I'm like, all right, I'm into what you're trying to show me. But I should have known that because this is a game based on a horror movie, it would be an asymmetrical multiplayer online game. Because that's the only thing legally you're allowed to make with a horror franchise anymore. It's actually incredible that Alien Isolation 2 is allowed to be what it is. Because I at this point, why wouldn't Saw be a fucking 1vx online? Why wouldn't it be Dead by Daylight? They're all Dead by Daylight now. Like,
a lot of them are.
Damn it. But people do like them. Not for me.
Rivek Shadows in the chat says it looks like Outlast Trials, but someone also plays the trial guy, and that's interesting. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed is also one of those asymmetrical horror games. Here's the thing. I don't know. I thought it was interesting based on the premise. It just depends how big of a Saw person you are. What were you thinking tier-wise for this one?
I mean, it's hard because, like, I do, like, Saw is a guilty pleasure for me. They're not good movies, but I do kind of love
them. They're great movies. They're great bad movies.
Yeah. But, like, this, if I'm going to be objective, right, not for Derek, but how the gaming audience in general will probably take it, I think this is going to end up still as just like a sicko game. Like, this will be for people who want this and that very hyper specific genre. It could peel a couple people away from the Killer Clowns from Outer Space game. You know what I mean? But like, which is a real thing that is also one of these.
Yeah. Played it,
but I just don't know that it's going to make a big impact.
I'm gonna use my executive powers here and put it at the very bottom of C.
That's fair. That's
because I'm
fair.
with you on everything you
I won't fight
said.
you on that.
But I also am more interested in this than the 1666 game, so I'm not going to let it go lower than that one, just because I would actually play this over that one.
Completely fair.
All right, next up, Lords of the Fallen 2. Is this Lords of the Fallen 2 too? Because I know they rebooted that franchise. So yeah, Lords of the Fallen 2 was shown off. Is there any information about this one? No release date. We just know that it's coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I know people like the reboot of it. I played the originals back in the. I think that was an Xbox One, PS4 like cross-gen launch game. The original Lords of the Fallen, I believe. It's an old game.
Oh, yeah.
I did not play the newer one, but I know people were like, "This is a fun action game." 2's coming out.
It's mid as fuck too.
Is it?
Like these are the most we got Dark Souls at home ass games ever. Yeah. And it feels like the only way that Lords of the Fallen has kept itself relevant is by like trying but not exactly succeeding at playing into culture war bullshit a little bit.
No, I did see the director liked to
in the most
get on Twitter and do stuff.
baby like kind of way possible. Like they're not even committing to it. I don't know, man. Like, I just can't see this being better than the first two, which were, from everything I tried, mid as fuck. These are going to be C's, almost certainly.
Here's the thing. Mainly Brian in the chat. Lord of the Fallen had titties in the trailer. S tier? I mean, he's not wrong.
Dog, I got... titties are free on the internet. I don't know if you know this. Like,
I don't know. We could pay $70 for titties.
Big fan of titties. They're free on the internet. Better titties than were in that trailer.
Oh, double D tier. Actually, I get down with that. We'll put it in D tier because the double. I'm with you. It's like
fair.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I like some games that are Souls likes, but these ones have never.
Like, it's a series that only strives to exist is the most accurate and damning thing you could say about Lords of the Fallen.
It wants to exist, absolutely. Next up. Sort of a big one from people who made a very popular video game that's getting a lot of attention. The Blood of Dawnwalker, which I believe are for some people who made The Witcher 3. Let's see, Blood of Dawnwalker. The trailer teases the protagonist. Cohen's journey will continue beyond 14th century Europe, carrying him to various corners of the world, far beyond Vale Serana. All right, basically it is The Witcher, but you're a vampire. You are a vampire. In multiple timelines is what this game showed off. Here's is the problem. Not the problem. I'm pretty sure this game is from some of the people who made The Witcher 3. I fucking love The Witcher 3. And I can DoorDash blood, in the future and then go back in the past and fight dudes with swords as a vampire. I don't know. This is the biggest, like, what if kind of a game, but I'm very excited.
That my base level of, like, expectation is that this is going to be a big one. Maybe a lot of people aren't paying too much attention right now, but I think this one has not just the potential, but the likelihood to hit way harder than most people are expecting. I bet you this is an A.
I'm going to go with you on that. I'm actually very excited for this game. We haven't seen a ton on it. I know there was a showcase a couple months ago or something, but just the idea of being a vampire and from people who made The Witcher and how good those games are, especially story-wise.
It looks like there's a ton of effort being put into like the aesthetic of the game and like the concept of it seems like well designed. Like this is a game that a lot of money and effort are being put into, and the designers clearly have a vision that they are trying to execute on. Like, it doesn't feel generic to me, despite how easily it could feel generic as like a vampire action game. Like it feels like some sickos are involved with this one.
No,
so yeah, way. I think this could be good as hell.
Awesome. Next up is the one that I am going to be a sicko about. Star Wars Zero Company had a gameplay trailer shown off here, and here's the thing, right? I legitimately, XCOM 2 is one of my favorite video games of all time. Just like unironically, that game is fantastic. This is from Bit Reactor and Respawn with, again, Bit Reactor is just made up of people who worked on XCOM and worked at Firaxis making all those strategy games.
Are you one of the 30 people who played Midnight Suns?
Oh, absolutely. I adored Midnight Suns.
God bless you.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Look, I'm here for tactics game bullshit. Once again, not a Star Wars guy. but XCOM people making an XCOM-ish game, sign me the fuck up. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be
Absolutely.
incredible.
Anakin's there. It's during the Clone Wars. I mean, as a Star Wars fan, like, yeah, this is the time when they were having fun just going out and doing a bunch of missions because, like, there's a war going on. But yeah,
Yeah.
just the tactics stuff alone, I'm very excited for it. One of my most anticipated games. We got a release date for this one, August 27th. Here's the thing. This is where the bullshit happens. This is either an S or an A. I'm not fucking around. I'm so excited for this
Dude,
XCOM Star Wars.
I'm with you. So for me, here's the thing, because it is the team, largely people who worked previously at Firaxis, right? I'm willing to throw this one an S.
Speaking my language. Listen, I was going to
XCOM
argue
and
you about it.
XCOM 2 are some of the best games ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Midnight Suns did not sell 10 million copies despite being that team making that good of a game with Marvel, y'all fucked up. Y'all fucked up. You look at me. Viewer, look at me. You didn't play Midnight Suns, you're part of the problem. And you can correct that. It's too late to save Firaxis, but you can correct that and still play Midnight Suns.
Yes, everybody should. I love this. This is such a me-ass fucking list because Star Wars is above Resident Evil and everything else. Like, I don't care. Let's go Star Wars Zero Company. XCOM Sickos Unite. All right, very cool. That's our first S-tier game. Next up was a double of Among Us announcements. We have Among Us On Guard and Among Us Animated Series. I'm just doing the On Guard because it was the new game shown off for the Among Us folks. It is... Did I miss it right here? Among Us On Guard is a spin-off game. Seems to be sort of like a murder mystery sort of game instead of a multiplayer run around kill people kind of an idea. I like Among Us. Shout out to Inner Sloth or Outer Sloth or whatever for just like helping out all the indies in the world. I don't know. Apparently that show's out now. It's on Paramount Plus, so you can go watch this show if you want to.
I don't know if I care about Among Us outside the framework of it's a video game version of Werewolf. You know what I mean? Like, it hit at exactly the right time.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly what it needed to be to take this very, very standard... well, okay, like, it I want to give it a little more credit than that. But, like, Among Us is perfect at the thing that it is, and that is very good. I don't know if I'm going to care about a narrative-driven single-player version, no matter how funny or charming it is. And that trailer for that animated series did nothing for me.
Yeah, same. Yeah, so Inner Sloth is the dev. Outer Sloth is their publishing. Yeah, I knew it was Inner and Outer. There was something there with the name. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I like Among Us as a party game you play with your friends during the pandemic, and then outside of that, I don't really care. So what were you thinking? Did you say C? Did I mishear you?
I think it'll be C. It'll be good. Well,
or do you want to do D? Because we don't care.
So I'm going to put it in C.
Okay.
I actually think it has the potential to be like a really good game, potentially. I just think that the appeal is a lot more limited. I don't know. I don't think that I also think we're just way past the mimetic love for Among Us, right? Like, the best time for this to have happened was 5 years ago.
Yeah. It's not Roblox. It doesn't last forever. It's something different than that. But I like Among Us. But yeah, I don't really necessarily care about a narrative-driven game. Next up on the list, it's a big one that I don't care about. That's just how it is. Sometimes, look, I hit it. I hit a point in my life where I'm just like, if I don't care, I don't care. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to hate on it. But I'm also not going to pretend like it's the best thing. Monster Hunter Wilds Ascendance. I think that's how you're supposed to say it. Which is the big expansion coming for Monster Hunter Wilds. Very popular, very successful game coming in 2027. And you're like doing Sky Island stuff. Seems to be the new gimmick here.
I fucking need this to be good. And it will be. Like, there's zero chance it won't be good. But here's the thing, and actually, this is great. The latest episode of Pixel Spectrum, I actually had our friend Danny, CG Danny B from the Playlog podcast on to talk about how Monster Hunter Wilds kind of like didn't hit as hard as most people thought it would, and where it kind of lost some of the fan base. And it's really pulled itself together with updates. It shows me that the team understands where they went a little bit off mark and how they need to get back there. Everything I see in this trailer looks like exactly what we need. A little bit more sauce in the combat. Bringing back elder dragons are always really, really interesting, unique fights. The one weird new like group bird had kind of an interesting like group dive bomb mechanic that looked fun. And it's bringing back one of my favorite monsters that is always a dog shit fight. Lao Shan Lung, the gigantic thing at the end, has never been a good fight in the history of the series. But this team has finally kind of figured out how to make those gigantic fights fun with wilds. So it's like an opportunity. I think that's what it is. This is Monster Hunter World was like one of the biggest games ever. And they've kind of failed to hit that height again. Ascendance might be the opportunity for them to kind of salvage where things went wrong a bit with Wilds. My expectation is that as this drops, it will move Monster Hunter Wilds up to like I'm thinking like it would move it up to an A is where I'm thinking this expansion will take it. Because it's not there currently.
Yeah. Well, I would say as the Monster Hunter fan, yeah, what did this do for you? What is this? Were you like, oh shit, here we go, this is exciting, or I'm hopeful, or is it?
It's not
because I'll let you completely do this because I have no skin in the game.
It's not what I expected, but it looks good. But they need to show me more. But I think the base level of trust, based on what little we've seen, how these expansions tend to be 1,000 times better than the base game, like. I think A is a safe bet. I would be biased if I pushed this to S. I know that.
Okay, I can do A. That's no problem there. That's definitely one of the bigger announcements for sure. Next up, if you got a 7-year-old, I got a game for you. Hot Wheels Infinite Rush. I actually don't want to talk smack because I think people actually legitimately like enjoy these games. So they're pretty fun.
Hey,
racers.
TikTok clips of this go wild.
Yeah. So we got a new Hot Wheels racer. I know Hot Wheels Unleashed are pretty popular amongst the people, like you said, the clips and stuff. A new one of these. Cool. I mean, I would say out of the racers shown, it's my probably second or third favorite one compared to Star Wars. But I don't think it looks bad. I think it will be, for the people who enjoy these games, they will also enjoy this one. But I have no skin in the game on this one either. So
this will probably be a B. Like, it'll go down, as these games do, it'll go down as great. It's not going to be broad universal appeal. Okay, so actually we got Rev in chat is somebody who's a little bit more of a fan. Says this didn't look great to him. Maybe that makes this more of like a C, a good.
Oh yeah, if you can do it in the next couple seconds, what tier would you put this in? Because I'll just go off of what you say as someone who likes it.
I'm inclined to listen to somebody who cares about it. I like Arcadia racers, but this is not a series I've ever really put a lot into. I've just, man, clips go crazy on YouTube Shorts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What kills me is that every time I see one of these, I'm like, oh, it's the Forza DLC, because Forza has done Hot Wheels DLC, which is really good.
True.
And then it ends up not being. It's its own thing. Well, since they haven't responded yet, I'm just going to throw that in C. And if you change your mind,
let's put it in C. That's fine.
Let me know. But that sounds fine to me. C is good. So yeah, I'm sure people like that. You can decide what the once we get done with this tier list, y'all gonna decide on what the weirdest mashup crossover game would be. Hot Wheels X-Saw. Hot Wheels X-Saw would be wild.
Would be one of the weirdest crossover games. Like, is gonna be part of this at a certain point, but we'll get there.
I do not know what you're talking about, and I put the document together. That's fine. All right, next up. Attack on Titan 3 was shown off, which, from what they were saying, seems to be the entirety of the show, the anime, the story is all in one video game, maybe. Let me see if the article says anything about it.
Real with you right now.
Follows the story's events all the way through to the finale. Okay.
This looked dog shit.
I mean, again,
nothing about this looked appealing to me. Now, I'm not like a fan of Attack on Titan, right? I've watched like the first 2 seasons. And it was everywhere for a little bit. It was cool. It didn't really keep me. It does look like an Attack on Titan game. It just doesn't look good. It looks kind of janky, and it's not in like a fun, cool way.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like some Bandai Namco anime game slop.
That's the thing, is they always make these like, oh, it's an arena fighter, and it's always just like, here's an anime, and it's in a big open spot. We zoom around and punch each other.
Do be making anime video games with a budget of like $300 total.
Yeah,
and like a plate of ham sandwiches. That's the entire game budget.
I'm with you. I
Um,
do not, and especially because I watched like season one, maybe started season two, so I don't know what's even going on, who these characters are, and it looks just like every other arena brawler. I don't know if it's an arena brawler, but it looks like all of those
it seems like
games.
it's a story-based game, but like it just doesn't look. I don't know, man. This is a D. This is a solid D.
Yeah,
Attack on Titan fans, those of you who are still fighting that fight, I'm happy for you, I guess.
yeah, you guys enjoy. Had me to plate of ham sandwiches. Listen, there's a lot I would do for a plate of
I
sandwiches.
fuck up a ham sandwich right now for sure.
Absolutely. The next one, there was a bunch of announcements here that were like, hey, we haven't talked about this in 10 years. Here we go again. It's like, all right. But again, we're going to combine these two. But The Wolf Among Us 2 re-announced, and then The Wolf Among Us Remastered coming out this holiday. So Wolf Among Us is not dead. It's been dead and alive 3 times before, but hey, everyone, we promise it's back. Listen, so there's a fun story about this. In 2017, I want to say, it was 2017. I went to my first ever PAX, not as media, not as anything, just like as a dude who bought some tickets and went to PAX. And there was a Telltale panel, and this must have been right after Tales from the Borderlands, so before things were going downhill. And I was the last person at the Q&A, and I asked, what's going on with Wolf Among Us 2? And at that panel, they were like, we're not going to say anything right now, but we definitely hear you guys, and we have plans. That was 2017.
Yeah.
It is now 2026, and now we're like, hey, guys, Wolf Among Us 2 is
Telltale's not
coming
even
back.
Telltale anymore. It's like it's a Bed Bath and Beyond situation, you know? Like
It's Telltale in name with some of the people, maybe like 3 guys who made the ham
because
sandwiches.
most of that actual team went on to Ad Hoc, right? And
Yeah.
did
Dispatch, which is great.
yeah, love Dispatch. I still have high hopes. It's just hard because like I remember finishing The Wolf Among Us and being like, this is my favorite of the Telltale games. I need a season 2 of this. I'm so excited. And that was when did The Wolf Among Us first come out?
Oh, the original? Oof. Before 2017.
2013. That was 12 years ago, man. Like, I don't even remember why I liked The Wolf Among Us. I'm glad they're doing a remaster because I would need to replay it to remember why I want a second. I bet it'll be all right.
So what I'm going to do is, we're going to do something silly here. Not silly. I'm combining both announcements. A remaster of an amazing game. Signs of Life from a sequel that I've been excited about for
There's actual footage of a sequel, right?
10 plus years. Yeah,
I don't
think
we've had that.
As far as an announcement, is like, here's the thing to get hyped about at a show. That's an S tier. That is an S tier announcement. It is going up here. Skunk Ape does most of these. I think Skunk Ape was doing some of the remaster stuff. I think this is full on Telltale, whatever that studio is now, but this is a full Telltale game. I want to put it in S tier because I don't want only one game to be up there. But this is one of those.
I won't fight you on this. I really liked The Wolf Among Us. I need to replay. I'm happy it's finally happening.
Yeah, big same. Next up, we had a big DLC announcement and our first Square Enix thing shown off. Street Fighter 6 Year 4.
Put this bitch straight in S. Put it straight.
You like it that much? Listen, I'm not a Street Fighter.
Go. And here's the thing. So first off, Street Fighter is one of my true fighting game loves. It is my original fighting game love. I've always been a Capcom fighting game person. I grew up with Street Fighter, and then I actually did play Darkstalkers back in the day, and then Marvel vs. Capcom, baby. I am so happy. It's not even Tifa. I get all of you sickos are so happy.
Sickos.
Tifa's there. I'm so glad for you. I get it. Tifa's hot. We all love Tifa. I'm so excited to see 3 new characters and not 3 returning characters. Because I think Street Fighter 6 has so much style, and I love it when Street Fighter gets bold with new character ideas, and these look like some of the most visually appealing, interesting. I want to see what these characters do. And one of them's Bosch, who is like a character who's been in the story mode from the beginning, and we were all wondering if he would ever make it playable anyway. Yeah, I think this is like the best update Street Fighter 6 could possibly have gotten for me.
Okay, as a Street Fighter sicko, I will let you place that one in S tier, just because you say it's good stuff. All right.
I'm gonna drop the fattest gummy and go see that movie in October.
Oh, I'm so excited for that awful fun movie that's going to be. It's going to be such a good time.
You can't watch it sober. It's not allowed.
No, Cody Rhodes would not allow it. All right, we have two games left on this list here. We've gotten through it in a pretty good amount of time. Not too bad. Next up was everyone's favorite. By the way, Brian, you're talking about games having titties. Maybe get excited for this one. Stellar Blade Blood Rain.
Not a lot of titty, I don't think. Mostly booty.
Yeah, a little booty, a little bouncing, but
Yeah.
Stellar Blade again. Yeah, I know people were like, "Oh, it's a sexy game," da, da, da. But apparently, like legitimate. I've never played it, but I've always wanted to because I'm like, people are like, it's a legit good action game. So
Blade's fine. I thought it was kind of mid. I thought it was very.
You didn't love Stellar Blade?
I thought it was fine.
Did you look at the bouncing?
I did. Look, and again, it's great. It's great to watch, right? I am a grown man who's married, so I do be seeing titties whenever I want to. But like Stellar Blade's fine. I will say Stellar Blade Blood Rain looks like it has way more sauce. Like that was my first thought when I realized this was Stellar Blade. I was like, damn, I think they figured it out. I think they figured out how to give this a lot more flash and style. This looks a lot more interesting to me. Like as somebody who wasn't super into Stellar Blade, I am a lot more interested to check out Blood Rain. Yo, it's my buddy Nick. How you doing, Nick? Oh, Nick, you came in at a terrible time for the thing I'm about to say. So the other thing I was going to say is the one problem I have is the Stellar Blade is, yes, like very horny, right? That's not the bad part. That's not the bad part. Games are allowed to be horny. But the horniness of the game and the ass and then the face and then the voice is a lot of mismatch happening here. That is the voice of a woman who eats ass on the face of a girl who eats fucking square pizza in the cafeteria. Like you can't do this, man. You gotta make that face older by like 5 years, man. You gotta do something. This is not allowed.
That's wild. Hey, listen, I've been saying everyone plays those Japanese anime games. All these people look a little young to me. I don't know. I will say though, talking to your buddy here in chat, I do like the hand to hand. I think the combat looks cool. They switched it from swordplay to hand to hand. Yeah,
the animations, the impact, like the energy of like the crowd, like in the encounter design, what little we saw, it just looks way more interesting to me.
I'm thinking S or A because I think this was a pretty good one.
I'll put it
in
an
A.
A.
I can do A.
I don't think I can responsibly put it in an S because it looks great, but it is a Stellar Blade, which means it's not as good as it looks. But I do think it's going to be a good time.
All right, very good. That leaves us to
I promise to be objective about this next one.
I mean, we can have a conversation about it. Obviously, it's the last one. They spent a lot of time. Matt Mercer came out and showed us multiple different clips. Everyone was there having a good time. Of course, it is Final Fantasy VII Revelations, aka Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, aka however many other names you want to give it. That girl on the left is maybe still alive. Final Fantasy VII, the final one, was shown off. That one is spring 2027. It will be launching day and date on every platform, including Switch, Xbox, PC, PlayStation. And it's going to resolve this remake stuff.
It's going to be a nearly illegal amount of game.
Yeah, what do you like? Listen, hey, I haven't played 1 or 2 because I don't care about Final Fantasy. So what's going on here?
So here's the thing. I think that Final Fantasy VII Remake is incredible, nearly immaculate. I'm truly in love with the first part of Remake. And I say that as somebody who isn't necessarily like a big fan of Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is middle of the pack for me out of the Final Fantasies. But Remake is incredible. Rebirth, most people will tell you, is a bigger and better game despite some shortcomings. I've said this multiple times, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the game that made me fall out of love with the Final Fantasy franchise. Like, I do not love the series anymore. I just don't. They took what should have been such an easy layup for me, and they turned it into the most Ubisoft open world towers game bullshit that has ever existed, which is famously one of my least favorite kinds of game, and it's something Final Fantasy has never been. Um, but that's a me problem. That's clearly not a problem for most people who played that game. It's not a problem for most gamers who love these big open world games where you got to climb a tower to get 1/64th of the map unlocked. Um, but I'm still gonna be there for part 3. I'm still gonna, because it's gonna be one of the biggest games of all time. People are going to make it their entire personality. I think legally, if we give this less than an S, there's gonna be like a dead raccoon nailed to my door in the morning.
I don't care about these people. They don't know where we live. We can do whatever we want. I mean, again, I will put it. I don't care about these games. I've tried multiple Final Fantasies. I get bored. I can't do the JRPG stuff.
Yeah.
I have seen the stories because I'll look at spoilers because I don't care. I think the whole idea of that this is that Sephiroth knows that he's in a different version of Final Fantasy VII, I think, is an interesting way to take a game story. Seemingly, I mean, I don't know, I don't care that much. So that I want to see how they wrap that up. And the whole is
if
like,
I want to be objective,
is this girl dead
the
or not?
amount of effort that is being put into this game, right? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was already like a monstrously big game with an unreasonable amount of time and money and effort and stuff put into it, made with love, not made out of cynicism, right? Like Rebirth was a incredibly executed labor of love that simply bounced off of me hard. If I take my personal feelings out of it, I look at the fact they are taking that. I trust on them to execute on what they're doing. They added a fucking job system and the flying around in the airship and dropping down anywhere in the map, like it just looks like it's going to be so damn big, and the story beats that they're going into for the last chunk of Final Fantasy VII are going to hit really hard. This is probably going to be an S. Like,
Okay.
and I'm not just saying that to avoid dead raccoons nailed to my door. Like, if I'm being real, this will probably go down in history as an S.
No, I think that makes sense, honestly.
On a personal level, I'll be glad to get it out of the way because I want to see what this team does with something that's not Final Fantasy VII Remake. I want to see them make something else. But yeah, I mean, this is gonna be good. This is gonna change people's fucking lives, you know.
All right, very good. So that is everything announced at SGF. Again, the weekend is full of a bunch of other showcases. Xboxes on Sunday, as well as legitimately like 3 or 4 on Saturday going on today that have already happened. It's crazy, but we decided to stick to this. Derek, thank you again for coming on, and we go off all this. I'll just do the first and the last tier because I am not reading through every one of these video games. I refuse to do it. And the S tier, which are things that we think could end up being a masterclass, or the announcement was masterfully done. We have Star Wars Zero Company. We have Wolf Among Us 2 / Wolf Among Us Remaster, Street Fighter 6 Year 4, and then Final Fantasy 7 or Revelations. And in the D tier, things that are sickos or we just do not care about, we have Blood Message, RuneScape Dragon Wild, Lords of the Fallen 2, Attack on Titan 3, and Stranger Than Heaven for using a dead man who would not want to be in that video game. That's the
fucked, man.
reason it's in there.
I was like, man, this show is going really well, and then they found a way to hit the brakes real fucking hard for me, big dog. Like,
so really quick before we get out of here, yeah, mainly Brian mentions it. What was the ambitious crossover you were mentioning before?
So it's weird. Was this not? I swear I remember it being part of the Sonic racing.
Oh yeah, Sonic. Sonic had a bunch of DLC announced, and then Pico Sonic / Pico Park.
Godzilla and Evangelion coming.
When Evangelion was there, I was like, how is Sonic gonna race a 100-foot tall robot? But they're gonna try it.
Weird. Also, once again, as the internet has pointed out repeatedly, we've reunited Godzilla and Hatsune Miku. Once again, they are fated to be together. The biggest thing about this is I spent all last night so mad because I was like, how the fuck does Godzilla keep getting crossover shit in everything else, and I cannot get a Godzilla game to save my life? And then today, Destroy All Monsters Melee Remastered. As you can see in the background, I have an original Ken Kelly painting of Godzilla fighting Rodan, and I'm actually wearing a Godzilla shirt I do, man. I fucking love me some Godzilla.
Yeah, where's your Sonic stuff at though? You gotta complete that
Oh, well, so
crossover.
I don't have a lot of Sonic stuff, but I can sing every vocal song from the Sonic franchise. I am autistic. It comes with the territory.
Oh, it's just a talent you have. That's dope.
They give you that. They give you that with the card. They're like, here's the lyrics, memorize them. You're gonna kill it at karaoke, man.
Oh, that's so good. But again, thank you, Derek, again for coming along and talking about SGF with me. Yeah, appreciate it. I think that's it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm half drunk. Anyways, have a good one,
Hell
y'all.
yeah, dude. That's me in a few minutes. Let's go.
Later, everybody.